I've been watching videos on YouTube probably since November of 2006. I joined in October 2008 so I could post my own videos and make comments. I've learned one of the things I have noticed though, most people are on YouTube just for a very short time, 2-3 years at max. Then they sort of drop out, and some will actually close their accounts and others just leave their account there, and you look down and you see, hey, they haven't visited this site in a year or more. But I've learned some from watching some of these. One of the earliest ones I ever watched was Aeternusvulvia. From him, I learned about the ravages of the mental illness called bipolar disorder. That medication, even though, like he says, does control his action, the control is to such an extent that you no longer realize, is it you talking or a chemical? Are decisions being made by you or a chemical reaction blocking any thought? I also learned that it is not good to molest 16-year-olds. He was molested when he was 16 by a 25-year-old guy. He was desperately in love with this guy, but this man probably wasn't really in love with him, just wanted a great-looking body. And when the boy's mental illness became overbearing, he ditched him. But like a lot of times that I've noticed, an abused person didn't report it, didn't mention it. He said he never even mentioned the incident until he was of legal age. Another one I've never really watched, other than a few times, Cris Crocker. And one of the things I learned from Cris Crocker, like he says, people on YouTube don't believe him. A lot of them are actors. The screen, what they are in real life and what they are on the monitor is completely different. He wrote a young subscriber of his who was worried about Chris's health. He says, don't worry about the man behind Cris Crocker. He is an actor and is playing a scene. Plus, I will say one thing about Cris Crocker. Age has improved his looks, weird as it might sound, but his looks have improved. Another one I watched, and no longer active, was an Austrian, I believe. Even though he always said he lived in Melbourne, Australia. He had an Aussie flag in the background, but his accent and his stories did not jive, because he would say, my dream is to go to Australia. He would tell grandiose schemes where people were going to send him to Australia, and then that came to bear. I think he finally, I believe, came down with an illness and left. But I think he suffered depression. But his depression was hope springs eternal that he would see the golden land of Australia. The other one that I enjoyed briefly was 5awesometrannys, from who I learned that there is such a wide variety in the sexual spectrum. Now, true, I was rather late in life to realize that, but there is. And Eric, who is one of the brains behind the site, I learned that, hey, don't take things seriously. When you're in college, it's meant to be fun, and he was having fun. He was not a tranny. He wasn't post-op or pre-op, as a lot of people will say, but he was, nor was he really a drag queen. He was just a person having fun. It was a great channel. It lasted about a year. It got overrun by people who wanted to be serious, and that's not what his aim was. And when people started getting too serious, he closed the channel. But he was one of the few I made comments. Since that time, I've learned not to make comments. I don't make comments on most cases, because as one learns when one gets old, each generation thinks that they're the first person in the world to encounter the problems they're seeing. They're not, but it's important to them to think so, and if it's important to them to think so, let it be. The world has changed much in my time. You know, rules that people think are always there, they just came in the last few years. I remember a sheriff in Colorado saying, one of the problems that we will see is people in the 60s who grew up and matured in the 60s like I did, have a different viewpoint of the world. That viewpoint is gone, and what was apropos or proper then is no more. And these people will have a hard time adjusting, which is true. Well, I do thank you for my little rant, and other people who have gone through, and a lot of good guys have come and gone, but I enjoy them. I'll watch them, and I'll try not to make comments. There's only one or two guys I make comments to, and those are just fun ones. Okay, bye.